Fruits are well known as sources of nutrients such as vitamins and minerals. And on Seeds of Gold this week, we take a close look at oranges. These help in proper functioning of the body. Oftentimes, people are advised to use fruits for a healthier body and mind. Coming up on Seeds of Gold.
The way people will put it, they will put farming to be for the poor, for the failures, those ones who have failed to achieve. I am doing farming and I am benefiting. In 1 year you are reaping not less than 100 million. Is that for the poor?
We are here to learn about growing oranges. Don't move. The show just got started. Today on Seeds of Gold, we take to Soroti, the land of oranges and other citrus fruits. After cruising through Soroti town, we head straight to Gweri sub-county in Odukururu village, where Elomos Agric Service Limited is located. Mr. Elolu Moses, our host today, is ready to take us farming. Let's now focus on the process of how mother trees of oranges come into existence, most especially with the new varieties on the market as recommended by the government.
I am Mr. Elolu Moses, who is the Managing Director, Elomos Agric Services Limited. These are the oranges the seedlings were planting for the transplant for mother trees.
Elolu was not always a fruit farmer. He started out rearing chickens and then his life took a new direction when he joined nuts. This is when he ventured into fruit farming.
I was somewhere and I just got 2 birds, these two chickens, just 2 birds. And that is the beginning of this company. Yeah. So from there I began hatching, now full swing. So that one now exposed me. That is where now nuts came in. They kept on advising, join a group till I joined the nuts. When I joined the nuts, I realized seedlings was also one of the good businesses there. Much as I had gone there with the poultry, but I realized this was there. Then I began incorporating the seedling thing.
Elolu will now give us an overview of the various stages of growing oranges. So naturally, our starting point is the nursery.
The seeds we extract from the lemon. The real lemon we use. Yeah, because the lemon is resistant to these orange diseases. So the lemon is much resistant. So what we do, we get the lemon seed, we extract the seed from the lemon. Then we plant the seed. Put them in a nursery, then we transplant them to now the pots like these ones. That is after like 1 month. Then from there you maintain them in the pots till when they are like 8 months is when we do the budding, depending on the management. But when it's above 60 centimeters, the rootstock is a lemon. We get a scion from the recommended variety, that is for the Hamlin species, the Hamlin variety. So we get a scion, then we make kind of a T-joint here. Make kind of a T-joint, then we fix that scion. Then we tie it with some paper, some polythene paper. After 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we untie the paper that we use for budding. We cut off the rootstock, like now this upper part, we cut it off to allow the scion now to germinate. Then we keep on maintaining them, pruning, spraying, and weeding.
Exactly what is a scion?
So what we're talking about scions, a scion is this one. That germinating point, that one you are seeing. So what we do, we remove this leaf, then we cut that one. Okay, we cut it with a blade, and that is the one we fix on the rootstock and tie. You tie it for 2 to 3 weeks. You untie that paper, then you cut off the rootstock. Now you will remain with the purely, assuming this is our rootstock. You tie it, you cut then the head, that growing part of the rootstock. But with the zion now tied on the rootstock. Now after cutting here, you untie this one, the zion that you planted on the rootstock will now begin growing. It will germinate, and that one will come as hamlin. If you use the zion of a hamlin, it will be a hamlin. If you use the Valencia, it will be Valencia. If you use the Washington Navel, it will be Washington.
Lemon is very instrumental in orange growing. It oftentimes acts as a rootstock. It is a special plant indeed. Elolo takes us through the next stage in this intricate process, and that is grafting and budding.
There is grafting also. The ones which are grafted is almost the same thing. Unless for us this side we use the zions. But the other ones, okay, they use grafts, okay, those are zions still. But they cut theirs. They cut some long stem, like assuming this one. Assuming this is a stem, they remove all these leaves, all this. Then now it is cut at some angle. Then they cut the rootstock also at some angle. Then it is joined, then they tie. So that is grafting. So when the upper one survives, because they use the rootstock which is resistant, and basically that is of a lemon. The biggest capital I see in this project, the biggest capital I see is the passion. A passion to it. The love to farming. Do you love it? That is the only biggest asset and a capital that I think someone can have. Because you can have even millions of shillings, but if you don't have the passion, you cannot make it.
There are a variety of oranges in this nursery with different characteristics.
The varieties in this nursery are Hamlin and Valencia. Hamlin is a small sized orange, but fruits very sweet. Then Valencia is slightly bigger, also fruits and more juicy. Hamlin has smaller leaves. They're smaller in size and curvy. And yet Valencia has slightly larger leaves. You can see how these ones are slightly bigger. The leaves are bigger than the other one.
These actually start bearing fruits slightly different.
Like these ones which are budded, you can begin realizing fruits after 3 years. From the time of planting now, if you took this and planted, by the 3rd year, you will begin realizing fruits. But they will begin giving fruits in a low yield. But as they grow, the bigger the tree, the better. Depending on the management, on how the farmer will manage it on the ground. But at least we expect it to last something to do with 30 years. Yes, if well managed.
Elamos elaborates on how farmers can have options on how to go about this process. But first, how is the soil prepared?
Like these ones, I put the seed. But what most people do, they first have them in the nurseries. Then when they're like 1 month to 2 months, you pick them and have them in pots. Depending on the system you are taking, if you are taking having them in the nursery, you really clear your nursery, you dig it very well, you make sure that the soil is well prepared, the particles. Then you try to get manure. You manure that the seed bed where you're going to have your seed. You manure it very well, make sure you have some water, you make sure it is at least watered. After putting the seed, you mulch. you cover it with the grass, and you keep on watering. And in 1 month's time, actually 3 weeks, you will see them germinating. After germination, when you see like a majority, like say 80% has germinated, you remove the grass, which is the mulch. Yes.
This shed here is used to cool down the temperatures of the seedlings in preparation for the transplanting process and transportation to the main garden. All that and more when we return. Let's now get down to real business. If I have 1 acre of land, how many of these seedlings do I need?
Half an acre you can have even over 200,000, because this one is not even half, it's just something like a quarter. Half an acre you can even go to 500,000 if you have them on pots like the way these ones are.
So at what point are these seedlings ready to be transferred to the main garden?
The science of this is just regulating the heat. Like now this one is giving 70% shade. Like the way you can feel it. 70% shade. So it gives a cool environment for the seedlings. That really promotes the growth and also allows light. There's a difference between this one and the ones under the shade. When it is the other side, you will first give it time of like a week for them to stabilize. So we picked them from the other side, now they're here. So these ones are now ready. You can take it anywhere. This one does not have anything that has gone. So this is how they are now. So these ones you can take even if you want to take them to Juba, they will have no problem. See, these ones are totally pruned. You remove all the root stock, anything that comes from the root stock. You only maintain these upper ones, which is the real variety that we need. If it is like Valencia, you maintain the same one, the same bud. These are the germinations. Like now this one, already you find this is the first shoot which is old. Now we're having the second shoot. So these ones are now ready for transplanting to the mother garden. This one is 8 to 10 months. From this point of the pot up to the bud, this is 2 feet. Those are the standard measurements we use here. But other regions, I don't know how they use them. But we use at least 2 feet. This one, this is 2 feet. So if you are digging your hole, you make sure now like from this to this should also be something like this and this one. So in other words, what you need, the hole that you need is something like this. By the time you reach the 2 feet, you are even seeing the brown and hard. You see? So this is what we fight hard to make sure we remove. So we remove this one completely till you see that it is 2 feet deep. So now when this one is off, what you do, you get the soft soil now up. The loam.
The fresh soft soil.
Yes. You bring it back. Okay. The soft soil. Because this one keeps water, retains water. So you bring this, you leave it at some point, then you add your manure. Now, if you add the manure as you are planting, you can either pour water first, or you can plant, then pour water. No, basically for us, we are not actually using those like NPKs. For us here, we deal basically on the, yeah. That's why we can go for maybe the droppings, the chicken droppings. You have the manure, the dung. Of course, the one which has decomposed, not the one which is fresh. Okay, now with this one, you don't plant it with a pepper. So you remove the pepper. After the pepper, you only cover where the pot is. So this is where you have your seedling. Make sure it is strong enough. So now in the process, you will find that you've created kind of a basin around this. You see that this is kind of a basin. So when it rains, you'll find water will accumulate, goes down to the hole with the soft soil. So you'll find that the retaining capacity of this hole is better than somebody who just only digs, then you plant. After planting, you can water your seedling.
Even before the oranges you plant come to maturity, you can start making money right from the seedling stage. Apparently, there is a clear market for these seedlings.
Basically, we have like 3 common markets. There are individuals who just come and buy because they are planting their mother gardens, they are planting their farms. 2, we have NGOs that are also buying to distribute to farmers. 3, and the biggest buyer, that is the government, that is NADS under Operation Wealth Creation. Yeah.
Each of the lines here has about 450,000 seedlings, here sold at 1,000 to 1,500 Ugandan shillings. Supplies that include transport and taxes then go for 3,500 Ugandan shillings. If we take a look at 120,000 seedlings at 1,000 each, per year one is able to get a reasonable amount of money.
Basically, farming is not a bad thing, but the mindset, the way people will put it, they will put farming to be for the poor, for the failures, those ones who have failed to achieve. That is the biggest problem we have in this country, and more so with the youth that we have. Everyone is striving, wants to get a white collar job. Someone wants to be smart. So they look at these ones like for the poor and for those guys who have never gone to school. But that is not the case with farming. Like for example, I am doing a lot. I am doing it, but I am doing farming and I am benefiting. You've done my estimate now. If these are like 120, say just take it at an average of 1,000. In 1 year, you are reaping not less than 100 million. Is that for the poor? I mean, that is money. How many offices, how many people with white collar jobs can earn, say, 100 million in a year? Very few. So if you happen to have some small thing like this, it's not even an acre, just a quarter, and besides you'll be doing your other things.
There is more to this farm than meets the eye, including new technology in orange production. All that and more next week on the show.